Good morning, guys. Do you want to say good morning, Dad?
Good morning.
Mom's in the shower. On our to-do list today is to walk to the Acropolis, and then we drive to the Temple of Poseidon, and then we have a meal there. Very exciting. A lot planned for today. We gotta get ready, so stay tuned. Alright, we're headed to breakfast. Yay! All ready for the day. We're gonna get breakfast, come back up here, and then head out. Yay! Okay guys, we did so much today, but first off we started with breakfast. Breakfast is on the 9th floor, and it was absolutely delicious, guys. Like, I can't even describe to you this breakfast. Best way to start the day, hands down. We got seated at a table, and then we went up to the buffet and served ourselves with all of this stuff. It was a good mix of like stuff we knew and then stuff we didn't know. Those that I just pointed to, you may remember I ate yesterday on our food tour. And then something really fun over here is Greek yogurt is really bitter here, so they add honey, and so they just have the honeycomb. Delicious cheeses and meats, everything was delicious. They had little bottles of olive oil and vinegar. That's Dad's plate. This is mine. I am a feta eater now, apparently, and this is how our tour guide yesterday taught us to eat feta, is to mix it up with olive oil, which was delicious. This I struggled to eat yesterday, if you may remember, and I'm still struggling today. They also had this delicious chocolate mousse that I tried this morning. Interesting breakfast choice, but it was super yummy and super rich. Yeah, it was delicious. I finished as much of my breakfast as I possibly could. It was a large meal. And then we headed back up to the room to grab our stuff before we had to leave and meet our tour guide. But I did steal a little bottle of olive oil. It was a long day, so we had a lot to get ready for, but I was absolutely excited. We got in a van with our tour guide, and she told us all about the history of the buildings and the architecture around us as we drove up to the Acropolis. Fun fact, Acropolis means edge of the city. It was the highest point of the city. We went fairly early in the day to try and beat the crowds, but it was still really busy. So pro tip, if you end up going here, go earlier than we did. It wasn't too steep of a climb going up, but it was definitely hot and sunny out today, so it was crazy. There's an olive tree. There were olive trees everywhere, guys. They were so full of history, it was crazy. It truly felt like you were walking through ancient Greece, which was such a treat and was so amazing. This here is an amphitheater dedicated for music, and music specifically. It's still used today for some performances. And then we headed up all the way to the actual Acropolis, which is the top, starting off with this gate entrance that leads you to the Parthenon and a bunch of temples that are up there. Super crowded, as you can see, but when we were coming back down, it was even more crowded. Over there is literally where democracy was born. Crazy, on that rock. Still can't wrap my head around that. We made our way through the gate and through the massive crowds, and you can see anything that's in white marble is recreating what used to be there, and anything in that more yellowish color was the actual material, which is crazy. All I could keep saying this entire time was wow. I mean, it was crazy amazing. It was so beautiful. It was so architecturally gorgeous, and as crowded as it was so close. Like you could see it in scale. Like, the video doesn't do it justice. It was really large and really beautiful. Unfortunately, if it hadn't been for the world wars, these would have been in much better condition, but it was a real treat to get to see them now. And I loved every second of being up here. The views were spectacular. The architecture was spectacular. There really wasn't a downside. And you truly can see like all of Athens from this point, which is exactly why it was built, which is crazy. That's the Temple of Zeus. And then over there you can see the stadium where they held the first modern day Olympics, which is super cool. Checked out the last of these ruins, and then it was time for us to head down the hill.
which was not as hard as getting up it. It was definitely less crowded on our way down, but there were still lots of people. We spent about a good hour up there. It was so lovely to see, but we had to say goodbye, popped back in the van, and it was hot out, guys. We had to hydrate. It was boiling, but I brought myself some pistachios to snack on. As we kept driving, you could see the Acropolis from almost every point. Fun fact, in Greece, they're not allowed to build buildings high so that everyone can see the Acropolis, which I think is awesome. Then we stopped at that stadium that I had just mentioned where they held the first modern Olympics. It can hold 60,000 people, which is absolutely crazy to me, and it's made entirely of marble. And from there, you can see, you guessed it, the Acropolis. And then it was time for us to head to the museum dedicated to the Acropolis and to the history of Athens. Doggy feature, because he was so cute. Our fearless tour guide led us through the crazy streets of Athens, and we made our way over to this beautiful museum that was so perfect architecturally. And it was built on top of an ancient city. So when they built it, they had to excavate the city, but they left it intact, and they actually built in glass floors to the majority of this museum. So you can see this excavated city while you're walking through the museum, which was absolutely crazy. This is where like ancient Athenians walked, it was so crazy. But we took in the beautiful architecture and then made our way inside, and we got to look at some historically accurate models of what the Acropolis would have looked like in its prime, which was absolutely amazing. I mean, you can really visualize it, especially having just been up there. And then on the floor, there's once again more of this glass, so you could see these ancient streets and these ancient buildings, which was kind of creepy and scary standing on the glass, but it was great. Then we made our way into the body of the museum where we were looking at all kinds of artifacts and a lot of marble. In the beginning here, there were a lot of clay vases and stuff like that, but throughout the whole museum was marble. On the top floor, you can actually see down to the lower floors here. We looked at a statue that represented my name, this owl, because my name means wisdom in Greek. And then we looked at some pigments because, fun fact, all of these marble sculptures were painted in ancient days, so they were full of vibrant colors, and they weren't just this plain white that we're used to seeing. So it was really cool to get to see what that looked like. These are statues that served the purpose of columns on a temple of Athena and Poseidon. Unfortunately, one of them is missing because the British Museum won't give one back. Boo colonism, but it was really great to see the rest of them. On the top floor of this museum, you can see the Acropolis again, and it's made to mirror the Acropolis. All of these metal poles represent the columns that you would see in the actual Acropolis, and it is to scale. So it's almost like there is a to scale modern representation of the Acropolis on this third floor. And you can see the actual layout of where all of those marble pictures would be. We said bye to the museum, which was so sad because it was so incredibly interesting. And then it was off to find us a quick lunch spot. Greece is just so beautiful to walk through. All of the streets are so rich and full of history and full of life, and these gardens were beautiful. And then we eventually found this cute little space to sit down, this cute little restaurant, where we decided to grab some lunch. And it was called the Greco's Project. We, of course, had to get some pita and tzatziki, which was absolutely delicious, guys. You just can't get it the way you can in Greece here. It is so yummy. Mom got a yummy salad, and Dad got a kebab, which doesn't actually have a stick through it, and I got this delicious grilled pork with these chips. And then after the meal, Mom got some delicious Greek coffee, and then they gave us this platter of sweets on the house. They were so nice, and they just gave this to us. It was delicious. There were some chocolate mousses and some yummy cakes. I was so shocked and so happy. And then it was time for us to walk back to the hotel. It was a pretty simple walk. We had walked it before, actually, yesterday, if you saw that other vlog. This is the Parliament building, and we walked by it again, took in this beautiful view of that fountain, and then made it back to our hotel, which was great because we were exhausted. That was a very full morning full of a lot of walking and a lot of stuff, and I had to take a nap. So I took about an hour-long nap, I'd say, and when I woke up, we were ready to go. We had places to be. So we made our way back down to the lobby to meet up with our guide again, and then we hopped in the van for an hour-and-a-half long-ish drive to a nearby peninsula. But the views along the way were just gorgeous. We were driving on the sea, you could see fish nets, and this is the Temple of Poseidon that we were going towards. We actually stopped the van so we could get these beautiful faraway pictures of it before we ended up driving all the way to it. When we got there, the walk up was super easy, super quick, but it was very hot out. The sun was absolutely beating down on us. And there was this cute little bird. There were a lot of these types of birds around this area. We went all the way up to the ruins, but the view, guys, of this bay were gorgeous. And we actually ended up having dinner down in that bay. More of these cute little birds. That was a family. These columns were Doric, which was different than the Pantheon. Still beautiful nonetheless. I could not get over these views, you guys. They were gorgeous. And there was a wonderful breeze coming off the sea, which was really refreshing in the hot sun. And you can see the islands out there. It wasn't quite a clear day, but there were lots of islands that were visible from where we were. There's lots of mythology connected to this temple, which was super cool to hear about. And then it was time to make our way back down. We stopped at a cute little gift shop where I got some gifts for people. No, you can't see because I know some of you were watching this. And then we hopped back in the van for a quick, 5-minute ride to the place where we were going to eat dinner, which was gorgeous and right down the hill from the temple. And it was really awesome here. There were cats everywhere. You're going to see a lot of videos of cats. Why? Because you deserve to see them. I think they're adorable. This was our view of the temple, which was beautiful. There were people swimming on the beach over there. Again, adorable cat. This cat and I became absolute best friends today. But at one moment, there were fish in the water, and one of the workers went to go catch the live fish to cook for a meal, which was crazy. He didn't end up actually catching anything, but he dried there for a good bit. These two cats were so cute. I just had to take another video of them for you guys to see. There is no shortage of cat content from this restaurant. Yeah, this cat and me became best friends. Before you tell me that I should not be petting these cats, I don't care. I love them so much and I would die for them. So if I catch a disease, I catch a disease and I die. It was worth it. I love this cat. They're my favorite. The sun was going down, so it was the perfect temperature. It was absolutely beautiful out. And the view was just crazy. I could not get over it. We spent the whole dinner with a view of that temple. Oh my goodness, more cats. Who could have guessed? And our food came out and it was super, super yummy. I had calamari, Dad had chicken, Mom had a fish dish, and we had a Greek salad. And Mom does not like olives, but she had to try one.
Are you ready? Very exciting. You got this, you got this, you got this, you got this.
Well, it's so salty. Otherwise, it's good. It would be bitter. I love it.
But you don't hate it. Do you hate it the way you hate American olives is the question.
No, I don't hate it the way I hate American
Exactly.
olives. No.
There you go.
Good for her for trying something new, and good on that waiter who accidentally dropped a glass. But we finished up and then headed out, and we were tired. It had been a long day and we were ready to go home. So we hopped back in the van and drove all the way back, about another hour and a half, back to Athens. The views this time, guys, were gorgeous. The sunset, the moon was out. It was not quite foggy, but just a little hazy. We went back to the hotel and went up to the top floor to check out the roof because we had heard there was a pool, but there was a whole restaurant up here, which was really amazing. The views, guys, were Absolutely gorgeous as usual. Over there is that Olympic Stadium, and then you can see, you guessed it, the Acropolis, which looked beautiful all lit up at night like this.
Okay, that's it for today. Any thoughts, Dad? Good day?
Awesome.
Awesome day. Any thoughts?
The best.
Awesome. I thought it was amazing.
I ate an olive today.
She ate an olive today. I'm putting it in there. They're gonna see it. Tune in for tomorrow. Yeah.
Bye.